Guys, we got a big show for you today. We're talking one of the most controversial drafts in MBL history. Some crazy preseason injuries going down, and then me and Lipp are going to select who we think is going to be a breakout star for this season. So stay tuned for that and much more on the Commissioner Corners podcast. What's up, everybody? It's Thursday, November 3rd, and we are less than 12 hours away from MBL Season 20 kickoff. I'm your host, Bomber, alongside my co-host, Lipp, and y'all know what time it is already. It's time for the 2-minute drill, so without further ado, Lipp, are you ready to get this going?
Let's go. I'm excited. Let's do it.
All right, we're beginning right now. Did the Chiefs win more than 8 games this season?
I think they do. I think they go 3-3 in their division. It'll look bad, but they're going to go 11-5 to finish out their year. They're going to win the division.
What are the chances that Jawara Woodward wins Rookie of the Year?
Look, great talent coming out in this draft. He's in a system with a great ownership. There's a guy named Jamison Finley there, rookie wide receiver. Him and Torrey Smith are going to have a huge year. Definitely going to win Rookie of the Year.
So sad news from the Colts. T.Y. Hilton's out again. He's going to miss 4 more weeks. So for fantasy value, who has more fantasy value in the NBL right now, Dorsett or Moncrief?
It is definitely Dorsett. This dude is fast as lightning. He's in his 3rd year in this system. He's going to figure it out, and this year is going to be a big year for Philip Dorsett.
As many know, the Cardinals' star wide receiver Larry Fitzgerald has 1 year remaining on his contract. Now, the question is not if he's going to play next year, but how much does he have left in the tank for this year?
I think he's still got a lot in the tank. He may not have it physically, but the man is smart. Now, the Cardinals just have to move him around in key positions, and he will still be very effective.
If you were Jamzel and you were running the Saints organization, who would you start with? Would you go with the old vet, Drew Brees, consistency, or would you go with Dronette?
I think that you've got to stick with Brees for this year. Let Dronette learn the system. Let him learn from one of the best in the game. Use every ounce of Drew Brees that you've got, and let the kid learn.
And that's the timer right there. It goes off right at the and you finished that one perfectly. So that was the 2-minute drill with Lipp. We got a lot more news and information coming your way, so stay tuned. We also going to be talking our breakout star for this season, mine and Lipp's prediction. You definitely got to stick around for that. You're going to be shocked. Are you looking for affordable graphic design? Well, the Madden Bomber League has you covered. Our sponsor at web3ks.com can do anything you want. They always go, Bomber, where'd you get those intros? Web3ks.com. Bomber, where'd you get them graphics? Web3ks.com. So you guys need to check it out. If you run a CFM, if you got a Twitter account, if you got a YouTube account, and you're looking for some nice, clean, affordable graphics, go to web3ks.com and he will fulfill all your graphics needs. All right, Lipp, so before the show, I started going over the injury bug around the league throughout the preseason, and there's a team that just stands out as, they really got hit hard this preseason, and I think it's going to affect them as the season goes on. But I want to shout out the honorable mention right here, the Jacksonville Jaguars, with Aaron Colvin out 3 weeks with a ruptured disc, and then I see Miles Jack, who got hurt 2 weeks ago in the preseason, week 2, and he's going to be out 5 weeks with a broken collarbone, so I think that's going to put him probably, I think he would return week 3. The regular season, week 4. But the team that really got hurt this offseason was the Denver Broncos, owned by Porter. You look at Bradley Roby, he's going to be out 4 weeks with a dislocated ankle. The halfback Hillman is going to be out 8 weeks with a broken collarbone. And then here's a big killer. It's going to be Emmanuel Sanders. It's going to be 5 weeks with broken ribs. I think this is really going to affect the Broncos getting off to a fast start, as they're going to start off against the Colts, the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Chiefs. Lipp, that's 3 of 4 division opponents in the first 4 weeks.
Yeah, that's definitely a tough situation to start off with, and losing one of your big key receivers is going to be tough. Last year, Lynch threw for almost 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, 25 interceptions. This year, I definitely expect that to go down without Sanders. I think he has around 26 touchdowns. I think he stays around 25 interceptions, though. Last year was a rookie, so he had a lot. I think this year without Sanders, he's going to have a lot of interceptions. But the good news is for him, Tyler Simeon is also out for 6 weeks with a shoulder injury, so he won't have to worry about losing his job if he does perform.
And here's what I'm
poorly.
worried about. Quick point: Raiders went 10-6 last year. This is their division. They are the kings of the division right now. But those first 4 games without having Sanders, who put up 866 yards and 4 touchdowns last year, nearly 25% of the production of that offense, 20 to 25%. I think Simeon's really going to struggle. I mean, Paxton Lynch is really going to struggle without that target, such a veteran presence. I think they'll be able to double up on Demaryius Thomas. It's really going to hurt them, and I expect them to go 1-3 to start the season, and that's going to put them in the hole. That means they're going to have to finish, if everything plays out like last year, they only have 3 games to play with down the stretch with 12 remaining.
Yeah, and I think whenever Sanders does come back, it's going to take him a week or 2 to get back in the swing of things, so it even goes longer than just the period of time that he's out.
And we'll be keeping up with these injury reports as they go on. And right now, Broncos are really hurting. So we'll go ahead and check back in a couple weeks and see how they did and progress through the initial half of the season and see if that sophomore slump comes into play as it might with Paxton Lynch. He's a young quarterback looking to establish himself in the MBL. So MBL Season 20 rookie draft just finished up. And you know how much of a UCLA Bruin fan I was this last year with Trey McIntyre under center. I could not believe that the Cleveland Browns had the number 1 pick, and it was a consensus that they're going to take this quarterback from UCLA. He's a stud, and they just went the opposite direction, went on the defensive line, and brought in Bullard from Nebraska, and they're sitting there with RG3, who was 13 touchdowns, 28 interceptions, and they went 2-14 last year. Obvious pick is to bring in a quarterback. Lipp, try to explain to me why they went Bullard. I know you're a big Bullard guy and you love Bullard, and he was he was so good on the defensive line over there. He raised havoc, but why? How can you pass on Trey McIntyre?
Well, Big Mark the Bull Bullard, he is going to be an absolute star, and I think that they're trying to adjust the offense and figure it out, and they didn't want to rush into a quarterback, so they took the most elite defender that they could in Mark Bullard. He's a strong guy. He's very fast and very big. He's 300 pounds, 6'4", and the thing that I'm hearing a lot about him is that he's a very fast learner and a very good leader. He started all 4 years at Nebraska. Whenever he came in as a freshman, he was instantly teaching and helping other guys on his team as a freshman. He was very quick to pick up everything, and that is the kind of leadership and knowledge that the Browns want on their defense.
So you're telling me you pass on the Heisman winner, Trey McIntyre, if you're the Browns? If you were running that team right now, that's what you would do?
I think that the ownership has seen that Cody Kessler has taken some steps over the last period of time, his rookie year, and they really like him. So I think that if you really like Kessler, you get a big, great leader on your defense. I think it could work out for them.
And before we close this, I'm going to ask you again. If you were the owner of the Cleveland Browns at draft time, do you pass on Trey McIntyre? I need to know from the Season 19 NBL Super Bowl champion if that's kind of championship move you'd make.
That's a tough question, but I think if we had the chance to take him at that spot, we would take him. But like I said,
you have Ben
Roethlisberger.
And Ben Roethlisberger's your quarterback, and you would have took Trey McIntyre. But the guy with Robert Griffin III and some guy we barely heard of is going to pass on him. That's where we're at. So we'll continue to follow that as it ends up, as it develops, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe they can prove me wrong over there. I've heard great things about Bullard. Can't believe he passed on Trey McIntyre. But we'll definitely check it out and keep you informed as it goes on, and maybe Fry's got some evil plan going on over there to turn that franchise around. Looking for Madden Bomber League history, content, and news? Go to 365.maddenbomberleague.com. Don't forget to give us a follow on Twitter @BomberLeague and hit that like button and that subscribe on our MBL Network YouTube channel and support one of the fastest growing leagues in the Madden community. All right, guys, so for MBL Season 20, we decided to do something just a little bit different. We decided to pick who we thought was going to have a breakout season this year. And this person could be someone that had a low-performing season last year, and we expect them to have a high-performing season this year, or someone that you just feel is going to just jump from being an average player to be a superstar, something of that caliber. So, Lipp, if you want to go first with who you selected and why you chose this player.
All right, so I'm going to New York, and I'm going to the Giants, and I'm picking Odell Beckham Jr. Last year, dealing with an injury, out 4 or 5 weeks. He only put up 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns. I need those touchdowns to grow. I'm calling Odell Beckham out. I want him to compete with AB. I want him to compete with Golden Tate, and I want him to put up 1,600 yards and 15 touchdowns. That's what I expect from him. They got a high-powered offense now with the signing of Jimmy Graham, and I expect Odell Beckham to lead the way.
And if that's if Odell Beckham can stay healthy. As we all know, he wasn't that healthy last year. He missed a couple games, I believe, like 4 games last season. So that's going to lead me into my guy, who we all know, Cam Newton, last season did not perform up to the standards that he can. And I'm going with Cam Superman Newton and Super Cam Newton. And Cam basically was dealing with a hamstring injury all last year. It prevented him from having any kind of run game as a quarterback. And I think he's going to come back stronger, and he's going to be healthier. And last year, he put up 2,600 yards, 12 touchdowns, 29 interceptions. This season, I say 4,000 yards, 35 touchdowns. But notice, Lipp, I didn't say passing. That's because these yards and these touchdowns can come on the ground with him running or him passing it in the air. I think he's going to do that. I think he's going to be a top 5 MVP candidate in MBL season 20. Mark my words. And I just expect a lot of things from Cam Newton and OSU. I think they're going to get their offense clicking this year, and I think they're going to finish about a 9-7, 10-6 mark around that area. So we're going to follow these and see how it goes out. Those are our 2 breakout choices. Let us know where you think we went wrong, or maybe we overlooked somebody. But right now, I think Lipp's choosing Odell Beckham Jr. I'm taking Cam Newton, both from the NFC, so the AFC is getting no love.
None.
Lipp.
No love.
I mean, it is what it is. When
it's soft. AFC's soft.
AFC's, and who said that? Skip Bayless said that, or Stephen A. One of them said it on the Twitter world and the Twitter universe. So we'll keep up with this breakout season. We'll check it as it goes on. And just from Bomber and my co-host Lipp, we just want to say thank you for tuning in. We'll see you in a couple weeks. And don't forget to check out Spencer Murray's MBL Blitz. It should be coming out this week. We also have MBL Tonight coming out this weekend with our digital studio show. It's a virtual studio show. It's going to be great with Sonny Weaver. We've got a lot of new features coming. So make sure you check that out. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter @BomberLeague and subscribe and like this video. And let us know what you think about the Commissioner's Corner podcast.